Hey everyone, how are y'all doing today? Welcome to Review Sesh. If you've been here before, I really do appreciate you coming back to visit me. And if you haven't been here before, give me just a moment. Let me tell you a little bit about who I am and what I do. So my name's Mike, and what I do is I review federally legal hemp products and devices. So it doesn't really matter whether it's a consumable product of any kind or whether it's a functional device of any type. We're going to be looking at all of that stuff on this channel. I really do hope you enjoy the content that I'm making for you. So guys, today we're going to be looking at to be doing a flower review, and it's one that I'm really excited about. I have had this strain before, and it is one of my favorites, honestly. But is it one of my favorites? It's kind of weird. The name of the strain and its cross is kind of up in the air, and we're going to be talking a little bit about that in a bit. But before we do that, I want to go ahead and pass it on over to the previous me, and he's going to let you know a little bit about what I do on this channel. And once we're through with that, we're going to get right into the review. This one's going to be really special, guys. Hang tight. All right, guys, so as you know, what I do here on my channel is I review federally legal hemp products and devices. And a lot of these products have THCA in the name. And if you guys still aren't familiar with what THCA is, you're unsure about it, give me just a moment and I'm going to explain a little bit of that to you. THCA stands for tetrahydrocannabinolic acid, and it is the naturally occurring compound found on all hemp plants all over the world. It grows naturally on all hemp plants. And in and of itself, guys, it's not psychoactive. You wouldn't get any elevated effects if you go out and you eat a hemp plant or something like that. It doesn't work like that. It first has to undergo a process called decarboxylation. And decarboxylation, guys, I know it sounds like a fancy chemistry word, and that's because it is. But really, all it means, all it stands for, is the application of heat. So it doesn't really matter whether it's environmental heat, like the heat of the sun, it's just a hot day outside, or, we apply some artificial heat, like we are known to do, like a little bit of flame, maybe an electronic heat source, like what I like to use, that decarboxylates that THCA molecule, and it effectively just drops that A right off the end of that molecule chain, and it leaves you with good old-fashioned THC. So, guys, THCA minus A equals THC. And for all intents and purposes, since we're still putting this under the same processes everybody else has always put it under, you know, really, realistically speaking, guys, THCA is the THC that your fathers, your grandfathers, and everybody that's ever come before have always been speaking about. They've always been speaking about the naturally occurring compound on the plant. And it's just recently that we've had some confusing terminology and it's muddied things up a little bit, but I hope this has clarified things for you. And it's really important to go over this because since 2018 in the federal farm bill, we have these things available to us without any worries whatsoever. Totally legal. We can get this stuff through the mail. We don't have to worry about going out and meeting people at odd times of night and putting ourselves at inconvenience at the very least and risk at the most. You know what I mean? So when you guys get your stuff in the mail, you're going to be getting one of these. This is a very generic copy. I use this specific copy every time that I explain this. And, it's a notice to law enforcement and the Postal Service. And it just declares what is in the package. And it states that, what is in this package is federally compliant, 2018 Farm Bill compliant hemp. All right, guys? Very important to hold on to these. For the foreseeable future, there's no point in getting rid of these. They stack flat. You don't have to worry about, them taking up a lot of space. So just hold on to these things, guys. So with that out of the way, guys, let's get into the review. All right, guys, so today's Good Mood is sponsored by California Gold Farm. And today we're looking at a strain which I love personally, and I love it for a couple of reasons, and I'll explain why. We're looking at Superboof. Very, very popular strain. Very popular strain. And you know what to expect with Superboof. Usually, if any of you guys have had Superboof, it's a very tangy smell on the nose. It smells very tangy, very, very citrus. Here is the Superboof from California Gold. Very, very nice flower. Really nice looking. Very keefy. I can tell like it's very, very frosty. Density, extremely dense. Got a little bit of stick to it, but the big thing is the keef. It's very keefy. You see all that keef down there in the black jar. Very, very thick with the keef. So, guys, as usual, I'm going to go ahead and take some shots of this. I'm going to try to get the best shots I can. Typically, I am able to get really, really nice shots of California Gold flower. So, I'm expecting more of the same here. As soon as I get the shots, I'll be right back and we're going to taste it. I'll let you know what I think and we'll go over what the deal is with Superboof and why it kind of seems to be a misnomer in its name. So, we'll be right back. Alright guys, I am back with this Superboof from California Gold Farm. As usual, and as I thought, very, very pretty stuff. Lots of very healthy trichome heads. Very well, appears to be hand trimmed. Um, and the crazy thing is that a lot of these trichome heads on them, they are so dense, they are so healthy, that even with the little bit that's, being hand trimmed, you just still do have little bits of just the tail end of some sugar leaf right there. And it's crazy when I'm looking at that under the microscope at 1,000 times magnification that I am seeing really super large, healthy trichomes just popping off even the sugar leaf, what's remaining there, which is not a lot, but very, very dense trichomes in places which you wouldn't normally expect on a flower like this, which just tells me that it's been very, very well cultivated. And speaking about cultivation, this strain here, Superboof, kind of a misnomer. Because if you look at this strain and you look at another one of my favorite strains side by side, that being Blockberry, you will notice that this is called Superboof, aka Blockberry, or Blockberry's Blockberry, aka Superboof. Oh, goodness gracious, look how much keef. I told you guys, very, very keefy. It's just from that grind right there. Very, very keefy indeed. All in the sides of the grinder and everything. Really, really dense with keef. And anyway, so Blockberry is Blockberry. That was the original. And Superboof is actually a cut of Blockberry. If you get onto seedfinder.eu, you could actually look at the whole lineage of Superboof. And the original breeder of Superboof is Blockhead Buds. All right? Superboof is a cut of that cultivar called Blockberry. And this cut was found by a cultivator named Mobile J. Um, and he was given seeds by Blockhead Buds. Um, so yes, Superboof is kind of a misnomer because realistically, it is Blockberry, but it's a separate cut than what you might normally get with Blockberry. And some say it's fairly sativa leaning um, versus Blockberry. Definitely smells like what you would get with Blockberry, except with a bit more of that tangy note, a bit more of that citrus note to it. And as you can see, it is a little more on the lime green side than it is the perp side. Um, the Tropicana cookies, that sort of color and stuff, doesn't really come out as much in the Superboof. Though, like I say, it is basically Blockberry. It's basically the same thing, but there's the strains, the cuts, um, differ so much in the appearance and the fragrance and to some degree in the flavor um, that they are still distinct on the market. So, people still do make distinctions between Blockberry and Superboof, as I am trying to do here, because I do notice differences between the both of them. Um, so just putting that out there, some of you guys may have noticed that Blockberry and Superboof share the same pages on Leafly, Allbud, that sort of thing. If you really are interested in checking out the actual origins of Blockberry and Superboof, just check out the strain info on seedfinder.eu for the strain for Blockberry, and you can find the entire history of the cultivar. Very, very interesting stuff there. And when you read through it, you can understand why people still make the distinction between Superboof and Blockberry. There is a difference. It's a subtle one, but it's enough to make the distinction in the market. So, with that out of the way, we're going to be trying this with my one hit wonder from Crossing, wonderful device, and we're going to still be using this gifted piece to me. This was a piece that was gifted to me by a fellow I met online, and very, very friendly guy, and he hooked me up, and I love this piece. I do have some new stuff coming very soon, new glass coming very soon, and I'll be sharing with you guys, but for the moment, I'll just be using this one. All right. Yeah, that's super boof. And I am saying it's super boof. I am making a distinction between super boof and Blockberry here. Because with Blockberry, what I get typically is way more of the berry. Way, way more of a sweet berry hit. I don't get as much citrus with Blockberry as I do with Superboof. And there's a couple of people I've spoken to, and I think they concur. I think they do. Um, I don't want to put words in anybody's mouth, but I do feel like a couple of people that I speak to have expressed that Superboof does tend to have a lot more of that tangy leaning hit to it on the palate. And that's what I'm noticing here is I'm noticing less of the super sweet berry side of things, and that's replaced by the tangy side of things. Um, Subtly, but enough to notice a difference. Like if I were sitting here and I would have ate Blockberry and Superboof side by side, I would be able to tell a difference, though I'd also be able to tell that they're of the same lineage. Um, and for what it's worth, California Gold Farm right now does actually have the proper Blockberry on their site right now. So as I'm trying their super booth, they also have the Blockberry up there, and it's unfortunate that I don't have the Blockberry side by side with this, so I could actually give you guys a proper impression of why these strains are listed as if they're separate, even though they're from the same genetics. Um, I would really like to get into that at some point, but that will actually take a side by side, I'm afraid. Mm, that is so delicious. Oh my goodness. And guys, I'll be honest, this is only the third time that I've had Superboof. But each time I have it, I've had Blockberry a lot. I've had Blockberry 7, 8 times. I love Blockberry. But each time I have Superboof, I do notice and I do recognize what I love about Blockberry. But it's just got more of that citrus zing to it. It's real zingy. You know what I mean? Um, Very, very good. Very good. Now, typically, Superboof is very high in THC content, looking at 28 to 32%. And I am not sure. Let's see if I can find a COA on this, just out of curiosity, because I do feel like it's very strong. It's hitting me pretty well, to be quite honest. Let's see what we got, y'all. Okay, yeah, so we're looking at about 32%. THCA. That's very strong. After decarb, you're looking at 29, 30%. It's very strong, guys. And it's strong. It's not hitting me real quick. It's creeping on me, but it's creeping on me very pleasantly. It's very, very well rounded. And the effects are leaving me feeling very relaxed. I feel a little more I don't want to say just a calm, you know, I'm comfortable. Not gonna lie, before I started making this video, guys, I was having some issues with some people. You know, some some drama, some stuff going on. There's always going to be stuff going on, and I really, really needed to vape something. So this is really nice. Of course, it could be just because I'm making the video too. A lot of times, I've told you guys that I make these videos when I'm. A lot of times, I make them when I'm upset about something. They making these videos, making these reviews. It's a form of catharsis to me. It helps me calm down. It helps me focus on something other than whatever the ridiculous problems I'm dealing with at the moment are. And in the course of making these videos, it gives me a reason to medicate, and that really does help me calm down. For myself, I'm a very obsessive kind of individual, and if I don't have something to focus on that also lets me calm down, I you wouldn't want to be around me. I'll be completely honest there. Um, so these videos are great, and this right here, the Superboof, exactly what I needed. Exactly what I needed under the circumstances. Mm. Now, there are some things that it may relieve that I'm really interested in. As I'm looking on Allbud, you guys know I use Allbud for my information typically. As I'm looking on that, it's stating that it may relieve chronic pain, depression, fibromyalgia, gastrointestinal disorders, and stress. Well, guys, something about me that covers everything I deal with. I mean, I haven't been diagnosed with fibromyalgia or anything, but uh, I feel pretty rough sometimes, lots of shoulder pain, lots of nerve pain. And if this is one of those strains that I both love the flavor of, it's beautiful, smells great, even people around me that don't necessarily consume hemp products, they do enjoy the strain of, or the smell of this strain, and, Blockberry as well. It's very sweet smelling to the externally, you know what I mean? It's less skunky and more sweet smelling, so it's more pleasant to people around you as well. Um, and it's a nice hybrid. It's about 50-50 balanced, and really nice. I feel uplifted, focused, um, not so worried about issues that were bothering me previously to making this video. And the flavors are on point with what you'd expect. I mean, with um Blockberry, you'd be looking at berry, cherry, a little bit of citrus, sour, sweet. With this, you got berry, cherry, citrus, fruity, which is redundant, orange, sour, sweet. Now, I would say that orange is more tangy. It's not really an orange, it's more tangerine leaning. Very, very good. Aromas, berry, cherry, citrus, earthy, nutty, pungent, spicy. Um, there's a couple of those nutty, pungent, spicy, earthy. Mm, I don't know. Pungent and then it's loud, yes. Spicy, no. Nutty, no. Very sweet, very citrus smelling. Very forward on the tangerine smell. Very forward on that. The tangerines do not smell nutty. They do not smell spicy. This flower smells like tangerines. Um, Wonderful cure on it. Very good density. Tons of trichome coverage and a flabbergasting amount of keef. Very healthy keef too, by the way. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but the actual color of the keef is very indicative of what you're dealing with as far as how much plant material you have coming through and all that sort of thing. And this keef is very, very clean. There's not a lot of green bits and stuff that come through in that. Um, at some point, I'm going to get to making it a regular habit to when I do go ahead and find a lot of keef in this flower to start including, some shots in my editing of the keef under the microscope. That could be very, very interesting. Um, in fact, I might do that right after making this video, and I might place it in right after I'm saying this right now. So if you see that, that's what we'll be doing. Um, so yeah, this is a great flower. If you guys have not tried Superboof at all, you will love Superboof. If you love Blockberry, this is the next step. Blockberry and Superboof are distinct in the way they smoke or vape, their flavors, their nuances. They are distinct. Yet when you look online, they're both black cherry punch crossed with Tropicana cookies. Um, it's one of the cool things that I love about this flower. It's one of the very interesting things about it. This plant is that you can have things from the same genetic lineage, and you can have different cuts. You can have different phenotypes. You can have different, you know, it it's very, very interesting in that you can have virtually unlimited combination of flavors and things, flavors and smells and stuff that you wouldn't normally even dream of come through as we continue to cultivate this plant and as we continue to learn about the great things that it has to offer us, just not just for the pleasure that it can offer us, but for the medicinal benefits and the true ability that it really does have the ability, at least for me. It really does help me to when I am dealing with a lot of stressors in my life, when I'm dealing with very difficult things. Like I say, I am obsessive compulsive, and I do have issues letting things go. And having something like this that I can take and access myself and use responsibly and apply to myself, that helps me cope, not as a crutch, mind you, but as something to help me cope, is very important. And provided that it doesn't ruin my ability to function in my day-to-day life, and I can still stay on track, and I can still work on myself and be positive and not be over reliant. Um, I just, it really is God's medicine, guys. It really is. And I'm blessed to be able to share my experiences with it with all of you. I do hope that you're enjoying the content that I'm making so far, and I will be bringing more. This is probably going to be the last video where you guys are going to be seeing my ugly walls and stuff like that. I haven't decided where I'm going to be coming to you next from. I don't know, it might be Venice or something. I don't know. But I'm getting those walls covered. I'm going to work on trying to get some green screens or something in here. Try to make things a little bit more lively, change things up. Just play around and have more fun this year. I want to have fun with this, guys, and I want to keep running with it and see how far we can take it. So with your support and keep liking, subscribing, commenting, sharing. With your support, guys, the sky's the limit this year. I'm not going to put limits on myself this year. I'm not going to say, oh, this is where I want to get this year. I'm going to say, let's just run with it. Let's see how far we can get this year. So I'm very blessed to have you guys with me, and I want to tell you guys thank you very much. And until I see you next time, I want you to continue to keep taking care of yourselves and your loved ones, and keep going out there and finding things to amuse yourself with every day. Very important to, when things are getting you down, find something to distract yourself with. Find something when you've got a frown on your face, go and seek something to put a smile on your face. And I'll leave you with that. Until I see you next time, as usual, I want you guys to stay lifted and stay blessed. I'll talk to you very soon. Peace.